Hey, how you going, all you random strangers? We have waited a long time for this day, but we are finally starting another KyoAni show, and to top it off, it's going to be the music, orchestra-oriented sound, or Hibike Euphonium. Real quick housekeeping, if you're new to this channel, welcome. We're so glad you found us. We are just a bunch of people from all over who love talking about and thinking about the anime that we watch, and also, curating some real quality shit posts every now and then. So yeah, please make yourselves at home. If you have come from or been through the whole KyoAni rigmarole with me, you know what it's going to be all about. Actually, if you are from the KyoAni crowd, it is awesome that you're back, because KyoAni was life-changing, which is nuts to say, but it opened my eyes to so many things about anime that I didn't even know it could make me feel. And so I'm really looking forward to diving back into another series with you all, and let's just have fun along the way. Okay, so I always start by laying out what I do know about the show. I know, or I'm expecting it to be hugely character driven, with meticulous detail to things like body language and facial expressions, because KyoAni, we probably will likely do a character web similar to the one that we did in KyoAni, maybe even Hogwarts sorting. I don't know. I'm just glad that we are diving back into that universe of analyzing relationships, because I think that's really where the juicy stuff is. At the same time, I'm going into Hibike with zero expectations of it being anything like KyoAni, and you guys did actually a great job of flagging that there are differences between these two shows without spoiling anything. I know that KyoAni is this multi-talented crew who have produced all different types of shows. And yeah, that Hibike came years later after KyoAni. Also that Naoko Yamada is involved somehow, if not as a director, then in some other capacity. So I'm really looking forward to more legs and feet and the emotional stories that they tell. Which, oh my god, that is such a weird sentence to be coming out of my mouth, especially before I started watching anime. But yeah, anyway, there you go. Obviously, I'm extremely excited for the musical aspects of this show. I do have to warn you though, particularly if you are, say, a brass or a percussion or a woodwind instrument player, if they do feature like the full entire orchestral set in the show, that I am next to useless knowledge-wise when it comes to those instruments. My domain is strictly strings and piano. So if I get the name of an instrument wrong, or I recognize the wrong sound or something, please do not be offended. I'm super keen to learn more about other groups of instruments. So yeah, feel free to correct me and just give me cool facts about instruments. Just go hard, go geeky. Music nerds are the best. Guys, I think we should just dive right into episode 1. I am so hype about this. Are you guys ready? I'm not. Let's do it. In 3, 2, 1, play. Kyoto Concert Hall. Cute, they're so young. Oh, that's a proper concert hall. So they won, right? Huh? Why is it dud? Oh. Oh, here we go, the feet. Oh, so it's gold, but not good enough to go It's a national competition. Oh. Oh, she's super mad. Oh, so she's the super ambitious one who wants to make it all the way. Oh. That was dramatic already right off the bat. Who? Oh, is this the first girl that we saw? Except older now? Oh. I know all of you watching this have related to that problem of not having big enough boobs. High school's tough. Those cherry blossoms again. Here we go with the symbolism. Gotta live life while you can, right? Just like the cherry blossoms. Kitauji. Oh, they look so cool. Nice conducting swishes. Looked real enough. Oh. Yeah. Like, okay. She's gonna save him. Oh, here we go. Dun. An A. Dun. Dun. Oh, it's in B flat major. Interesting. So she's our Euphonium main. I love how the background is like a close up of their instruments. Oh, and how they integrate the musical signs into their names. The hiragana. Is that. Oh, our angsty girl plays the trumpet. That makes total sense. Nice little flute decorative sounds. It's a very uplifting song. Oh. That's another youth player. So the four girls that we saw in the boxes, though, are like those are the four main girls. Kind of like KyoAni. Oh, I love the zoom in on those details of the instruments. Flex animation shot with the drone footage. Hype, hype, hype. Oh, that's a lot of characters. Amazing. They looked cool though. So her childhood friend who was really upset probably doesn't go to the school, right? They probably don't have a great reputation for, you know, musical standards. Hazuki. Kato. I don't remember with Japanese names, do I call them by the second name? Omae? I love this orchestral background music. Kumiko. Oh, so it's Kumiko. Okay. Sapphire. Cutie. Is she meant to be like a foreigner or something? Too formal? I mean, too casual? Oh, so she's the Ritsu of the group? Love it. You need that. I love how... Okay, so the B flat, right? As far as I know, it's the equivalent of the open A string for strings. It's most of the brass instruments are tuned to B flat major, which is why it was so cool that the OP was in B flat major too, I think. Just loving all these musical details. Ah, tuba-kun. It's a euphonium, no? A youth is a smaller version of a tuba, right? Oh, so she does have a Japanese name. Contrabass. What? Hmm. Hazuki taking charge. Oh. Let's... Okay, I love that we're starting out with a band that is not so great, because obviously we get to see the progression. I love sex. She's the leader, right? Band leader. She's super confident. I love her voice. It's kind of like Onee-san. Oh. Who is this girl? Asuka? I love her. I love her. Asuka's like, oh, I'm gonna eat those little babies up. There's a tuna. She's holding the hand. Okay. Oh, look at those eyes. Oh, she's got such an edge to her. Of course, the long, dark-haired girl is this mysterious, angsty, edgy character. They got a history. Is it Korosaka? I don't know how her friend's gonna survive in this band, though. It's gonna drive her nuts. Oh, that's what I want to know. Why especially boys? Oh, so there's more than one god. The music world is tough. It's dog eat dog. Oh, she's such a little sweetie. It is. One of the universal languages music is. The other one is love. She said she plays a contrabass, right? And she's so tiny. I love that. The contrast. She hasn't really discovered her passion yet, has she? She's probably very talented, but not quite got the conviction and the ambition to take it all the way. That's going to be an interesting arc. Hazuki. Oh, did they just do the tuning note for the mid-episode point? That's cool. Kosaka-san. So formal. A boy! Oh, it's good that we get some, like, male characters who actually have speaking parts in this one. That's different. Reina Kosaka. Alright, so they know each other from way back. He sounds nice. I don't know what he plays. Trumpet player. I know trumpets get a lot of solo parts in orchestras because they're sharp and clear tone that kind of travels really well over the orchestra. So yeah, there are quite some characters in the trumpet section. So I've been told by my muso friends. She kind of reminds him of Yui a little bit in that she's listless and directionless at the start. And the lack of ambition is another thing, which is going to be the driving force, I feel, of this entire show. Who's that? Is that her? That's not her mom, is it? Older sis. Kataji, this is what? Rubbish dump of a high school? In music, at least. Lucky rabbit. Oh god, no. That's the worst. Oh. Who is he? Like music program director? He's definitely got the clothes for it. Oh god, that brings back memories. All those scribbling notes. Oh, this is the competition that they didn't really do their best in. That's hard, you know. Yes, I love that they move the instruments in time with the music. Good on ya, KyoAni. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you, it's so easy as a musician to associate certain pieces of music with bad memories. Like if you lost with a certain song or you stuffed up a certain song in front of a huge audience, that piece of music can haunt you for years to come. I wonder if it sort of triggers her too. Also, this quality of animation and the imagery is really amazing. Not that I expected any less from KyoAni, but it's really beautiful on the eyes. It's yeah, I have no experience with mouthpieces, and so I know it's real hard. It takes a lot out of you. Oh, that's her. Oh, that was her older sister. So she was a trombone player. I really like the soft sunlight coming in through the window with the cherry blossoms blowing. Sorry, it's a rubbish truck going by. It's good she's got these friends. There'll be a big reason why she restarts her musical journey. Kiss and makeup. Oh, oh wait, Sapphire was playing the double bass. Also, do anime characters always run at the ED songs? I feel like that's a thing. They're just running. Oh, this is super hype. This is more like KyoAni style as opposed to the really inspiring, uplifting, kind of tension-ridden OP. Whoa, that episode went by so quickly. I was enjoying myself way too much. Hibike. Oh. I love how, I mean, this is clearly a much more music intense series. I mean, yes, KyoAni was about music, but I feel like a lot of it was not focused specifically on them becoming the best musicians that they could be. It was also about so many other different things, like their outside lives, you know, and let me just pause it for a sec. Yeah, their outside lives and their friendships with each other. And I'm sure that'll be a focus too with this series. But it certainly feels like their relationships will also revolve quite heavily around whether they choose to pursue to improve their own musical abilities and how they grow together as a band. So that's going to be a really interesting difference to the past once we get more episodes into Hibike. All right, let's go to episode 2. Okay, how you guys going? We're going to kickstart episode 2 now. If you guys are ready, let's do it in 3, 2, 1, play. Dun, dramatic brass music. All right, let's pick up some more details. I love the color coding thing going on as well. It's a nice continuation of KyoAni. See, Dana does know how to smile. Now we've got like the rain, everything's so depressing. Angsty looks out the window with Rene looking up at Yumiko, and then the sun comes out. She's even running on water, doing the impossible. Obviously, that's when they come together as a band and all the clouds disappear. I love that through this one OP, they're literally conveying probably the entire arc of this show, however many seasons there are, 2, I think, in this heavy symbolism. They're just all there for us to pick apart in this OP. I didn't see if there are any string players in this orchestra. I wonder if we'll get to meet any. It's playing it through in her head. Well, if you're ever going to corner an ex or a friend you've had a falling out with, the best place to do it, of course, is in the bathroom and sneaking up on them as they wash their hands. That's not weird at all. Oh. God, she really hates her. Rene got some issues to sort out. I mean, they both do. But some things you sort out on your own and other things you sort out together. Oh, she seems nice enough though. She's playing it cool. Yumiko. Yoroshiku. Let's break the ice a bit. What's that one line that she said? She's got dreams. You stomped all over them. I'm looking forward to this. Kitty. Oh, it's so hard starting another intro. I mean, you can totally do it. It would just, you'd be starting from scratch. Oh. Oh, that's how she chose the youth. I wonder why, if someone plays the youth or is in a brass section, let me know why it seems like euphoniums don't seem to be as popular. Is it like the viola of the strings section? She looks like a badass. Only in Japan do high schools dress properly. Michi sensei. Oh, here's the guy at the shrine, yeah. Oh, massive tuba there. Haruka. She seems like a real sweetie. And then she's the chaos factor. I guess they're co-captains. Or like, Asuka is the vice. Kaori. She looks like a nice trumpet player. And we're good friends. I'm sure it's genuine. Clarinet. Timpanis. I love the sax. She's a youth. Bass section leader. Yeah. She won't be alone. She doesn't want to be sat next to the crazy. She is probably the most fun person in this whole band. Come on, she's talking about sax on friendly pipes, valves. That's some sexy valve talk. I love her so much. Excuse me, you don't look like you should be in high school. She knows every single instrument. She has to, she's the brass leader. Go, Midori. God, she's so predatory. It's amazing. The way she's like hunched over, just creeping towards Sapphire. Oh. Those. I'll take her. Oh, be careful, Midori. Oh, God. What do I know? Maybe it's an honor to be gobbled up by a Asuka. Oh, she really is going for the trombone. Okay. Oh. Oh, sorry, the bass section of the brass section. She's like cursing her. Low key, like she is. She has such a dirty voice. It's amazing. Oh, what a good friend. Hederdine. She's like, oh, let me show you how the pros do it. That was beautiful. That was pristine trumpet playing. I'm delighted. So many emotions hold up in that kid. Oh, God. Come on, Hazuki. Yes. She's like, she can play the actual tuba. A political mastermind on top of being chaos, on top of being just generally predatory and fun. Look at those Machiavellian levels of manipulation. Love at first sight. Oh, God. Do you know what's so funny? I feel like Asuka embodies what like most musicians are like. They have these obsessed relationships with their instruments almost. And that's healthy. Like, you know, you're with your instruments so much. So itchy that you do develop this attachment to your instrument. Oh, another childhood friend. Owie. Oh, thanks, friend. Just outed me. Well, maybe, I mean, she was destined to play the youth. It would have ended up the same anyway. So she's a year older. Some hidden story there. I love how it's just with that one look down, you could tell that she's not really, she's holding back on something. Oh, I love how they introduce the instruments like that. Come on, just be cool. I like Taki. I love the calm vibes that he gives off. You can really tell music is what he loves. And he's pretty hot, yeah. His voice is very soothing. It's even got a fully developed philosophy. Oh, God. Oh my God. Hate that sound. Trying's not good enough. He is gonna make him. Deliberately provoking them. That is a great way to lead or conduct an orchestra. It's like if you want an orchestra to win a huge competition, you've got to make sure the students themselves want it as badly. It doesn't really work. I mean, it does in some circumstances, but not for the long term. If like the conductor just forces everyone and drives them really hard. And those who don't vote. Oh, Aoi. Is she? She would have been in the band with Yumiko and Reine, right? It's probably traumatized her. I like his approach to teaching music. Initiative. Still on the fence. So she struggles with indecision a lot. Does she have like, I don't know if I'm meant to ship these two, but just based on how much she worries about what Rene thinks about it, she seems super invested in all of her actions reflecting on herself and how it makes her look to Rene. It's a bit weird. Even after all these years, you know. She knows she was wrong though. Oh, okay, so she was in another band who didn't care. The fence sitter. Oh, if they lose. Oh god. It's so sad. I mean, I interpret it to mean if they lose, then she can be like, well, I didn't want it anyway. I feel like Aoi is sort of like the warning story of not to go down her path. It's like hedge your bets. Because if you really want something, anything that's worth fighting for is risky. You know, you've really got to take a huge risk to go for it. But then if you never go for it, never take that risk, then you never get to what you want. Kind of like relationships. You gotta take the first step. Put your neck on the line. Yumiko. Oh. She's not totally ignoring though. Next piece begins. I'm so impressed with the reality of learning music and discovering your own strengths as a musician and how hard it can be sometimes. So impressed with how realistically they integrate it into the dialogue and the conflicts between each of the characters. I mean, again, not that I expected any less from KyoAni. You know, they have this knack of portraying these emotionally complex situations in a very nuanced way, which I really enjoy about their works. Well, I've only watched KyoAni and now this one, but yeah. Also, I love that Taki is in charge of the orchestra. He has this way of leading, not leading by the whip, but leading by motivation, which is always the best way in music. You know, there's only so much you can force students to do. If they don't really want it, then it's like flogging a dead horse. But you can like spark their inspiration and their passion for what it is that they're going for, whether it's a competition or whatever it is. And that's how the magic happens, really. Oh man, I can't believe, I feel like we could watch another 10 episodes. I'm trying to remember, I mean, yes, in KyoAni there were major arcs that spanned across multiple episodes, but I feel like with Hibike, again, just to compare the two, and not saying which one is better, it's just that Hibike feels like the overall storyline is much more directed towards the end. So starting from episode 1, it's not so much self-contained as it is like a multi-episode arc, and it just makes you want to keep going because you want to know how it ends. Whereas KyoAni, there are certain episodes that were more self-contained, and you could watch one episode and be like, oh, that was a nice episode that wrapped itself up nicely with whatever conflict cropped up in the middle. And by the end of that episode, it would be resolved, or, you know, the life lesson would be out. And yeah, I do like, I appreciate both approaches. All right, let's talk more about Hibike once I gather my thoughts up a bit. First impressions, I don't need to say this really, but it is a beautifully animated show, and not just in the little things like the incredibly true to life illustrations and animation of each of the different musical instruments, but also I've been reminded of why KyoAni was so quick to draw me in emotionally, because not only is the story itself compelling, but the use of all of these non-verbal visual cues to either reinforce what's occurring in the dialogue, or what I really, really love is when they use things like close-up shots of the eyes or the mouth or the movements of legs and feet, or even just sometimes the quick downward glance that lasts like half a second. The use of all of those things to communicate what is not being said by the characters. And that point actually was so articulately brought up by Aoi in the second episode right at the end, where she lays it all out for Yumiko that by virtue of them being in a band made up of so many people with different personalities and divergent goals, and also different natural capabilities, you'll always get this dynamic where people have to be really careful about telegraphing their true feelings or their true intentions, because you don't want to cause conflict or hurt anyone in the process. But also at the same time, each person also has their individual needs and their desires and their ambitions. And so I think in these 2 episodes already, Hibike set up incredibly well this sprawling emotional landscape that our characters in the band need to navigate. It's like, to go on with that landscape metaphor, it's like they're starting off all separated, like on different points of this emotional map, and they somehow have to work their way towards each other and to somehow find common ground or some kind of unity as a band. I mean, like a high school band or just high school in general is a tiny microcosm of actual society. You know, it's where you learn all the hard lessons about, you know, how do you not only get along with people, but like get along with people who you don't see eye to eye with, but also how do you do more? Like, how do you work with those people to achieve something greater than the sum of all the parts of the individuals in that group? You know, also, like, how do you know when you can negotiate or should compromise versus when to stand your ground and drag others up with you so that they too can realize that they can achieve greater things than what they believe they can. For example, like reaching the national band competition. There were two visual cues in particular that really stuck out to me in terms of how much they said in a literal 1 second shot. Or sometimes it was like less than half a second. The first was in episode 1, right at the start, in that flashback, you know, after they've learned that they haven't actually made it to the nationals. Renee is devastated and she stands up really abruptly, and then you just see a shot of Renee's shoes step towards Yumiko, accompanied by that like sound effect, you know, that tells you that it was an unbelieving, I can't believe you actually said that sort of step. And I felt like, yes, so we know Renee was upset from her crying and her words and stuff, but also that like single step towards Yumiko and how heavy it was, the step that doesn't quite get up right in her face, but still expresses this deep disappointment with Yumiko that, and then of course we also had Yumiko, you know, sort of do like a snapback. All of that, again, non-verbal stuff really filled out how Renee saw Yumiko in that moment, and almost like the utter disgust that she had for Yumiko, who it was almost like she was saying, I can't believe you would get into this whole band business and work so hard and not aim for the stars. The other nuanced visual moment or moments I remember that made me quite sad happened in Yumiko's conversations with Aoi. Aoi is always, I guess she's sort of like always looking down, especially when Yumiko asks any questions relating to band stuff or their past in a previous band. And there's obviously a lot of hurt underneath this very, very thin veneer of pretending to not care so much about getting into and making it to bigger competitions, or even just doing better as a musician. And it really was through Aoi's overall body language and the way that she kept cutting short these conversations that I got this massive trip down memory lane of just how hard it is in real life for musicians or bands to make it to the top of the heap. That for every winner or successful band or artist, there are countless others who failed. And not for lack of trying usually, but because not everyone can win or find success. And in the worst of cases, like, not everyone is born with that natural talent that if it doesn't guarantee your success, but it makes it easier, like sometimes, for musical success to come your way. Let's quickly talk about character impressions. Yumiko, I appreciate that she doesn't fall neatly into a one-dimensional main protagonist prototype. Like, she's not the extremely super positive, bouncy, happy, can-do character, nor is she like the complete opposite of that, like the brooding, I hate the world type. She is quite intriguing to me in that she's the ultimate fence sitter who at this stage is just happy to go wherever the wind blows her. Even the way that she ended up playing the euphonium has been so incredibly passive. There was no deliberate choice in the matter. Like, when she was little, it was because no one else in the band wanted to play the youth. Now in high school, she's stuck playing the youth, as she constantly puts it, because Aoi outed her in front of Asuka. So it's going to be really fascinating seeing how, if Yumiko evolves that's meant to be her destiny, into someone who really cares about achieving a defined, ambitious goal in music. And actually, this passive nature of hers really bleeds into everything else she does, and the way that she walks and holds herself. She doesn't initiate conversations with new people, for example, and it's like Hazuki. Is it Hazuki? Yeah, Hazuki, who barges into her life. The way she flops onto her bed and is so like, ugh, and the fact that she sort of hates or despises the fact that Taki made the band as a whole vote for whether they wanted to go to nationals or not. She would rather just, abstain and not have to be pushed to make those sorts of decisions. So yeah, I really like that we got Yumiko as the main girl, I guess, to begin with, because there's so much room for her to grow, and also she's clearly musically talented. She can pick out whether the band sounds good, and in their tuning, she's immediately onto the fact that they don't really sound that great. But in music, talent isn't everything. It also has to be paired with massive doses of effort and of drive, so we'll see. She actually reminds me of some students I had. I used to teach piano and violin, and a student in particular who had all of the talent there, but just didn't want to put in any extra effort. It's like other students, they'd have to put in 5 hours of practice, and she could probably do what they did in less than an hour. But yeah, never really went anywhere because just didn't want to, she just didn't want to be there. So I don't know, hopefully it works out better for Yumiko than that. Other characters like Hazuki and Midori or Sapphire, I know these girls won't map onto like the KyoAni girls so much, but I'm definitely getting Ritsu-like vibes from Hazuki and then Mugi vibes from Midori. And with Midori, it's not just because she went to a private rich school, but it's more her otherworldly, very positive view on life, and also the way she moves too, like a lot of jumping up and down, very enthusiastic about things, and yeah, just her excitement at talking about and discovering new things, which is very Mugi-like. And you all know Mugi was my favorite, so yeah, I'm really soft on Midori in particular. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how these characters are going to be developed out more and more. The more we get to know really, intimate things about their motivations and their backstories. So those two, Midori and Hazuki, along with Asuka at the moment, though, provide some pretty welcome comedic relief. And I guess you need that in a high school drama that has some fairly deep emotional knots to untie with some of the other characters. We talked a little bit about Aoi already, and how she is the ultimate, scarred musician. I do wonder if her voting against the band aiming to go to nationals is going to grow into this ongoing point of antagonism or contention with the rest of the band, or maybe even with Yumiko, when and if Yumiko eventually comes around and wants to achieve that goal. Aoi just seems to be absolutely done with trying, or life even, and that is a pretty bad place to be mentally. So I really feel for her. Who else? Oh, we have dudes, which is so cool. Taki, I've said, much respect to him for letting the students and the band democratically forge their way or their path forward. And Shuichi, I think his name was, we haven't seen much of him, but he does seem to get on Yumiko's nerves a bit, so maybe he also has a role in helping her dig herself out of the hole that she's in. Also, guys, I just caught a quick glimpse of the episode summary, and I realized that I've been calling Kumiko Yumiko this whole entire time. I don't know what happened to my brain. So don't worry, guys, I picked it up. Don't panic. It's all good. Do you want to know my theory though? I feel like watching this has made me miss KyoAni quite a bit. and just reminisce about how good it was. And so my brain has just totally put a blanket ban on any names or any K sounding words or names. Like K is just strictly confined to K-on. And outside of that, my brain just won't process. So yes, but it's Kumiko and not Yumiko. All right, that is it for today. I am super excited for this new anime journey, and I'm very glad that you are on it with me. So let me know your thoughts. Join our Discord, go outside and just breathe in the beauty of life. I don't know, just do something nice for yourselves today. And I will see you all really soon in the next reaction.